No, definitely fluky goals happen, especially against this team. They like to shoot from the point. They like to get a lot of shots. We always have high 30s against them. So you just accept that that's part of it. It's not a big deal. I think, took a shot from the point. I think Scott Timmins deflected in the first period, went off the post, through behind the goalie and out. So it's a game of bounces, but they did a very good job of shooting, pressure, deflections, and trying to get screens, and it paid off for them tonight. Perhaps we can do a little more of that in our game, and we will be on the flip side of this loss tomorrow. Yeah, well, in regards to your first point, I think that some of the new technique work that Rob Tallis, our goalie coach, has been working with myself and Jacob throughout the summer, and then for now a month, about 4 weeks in Florida and 2 weeks here, I think that actually plays a large part in these like lateral movement, trying to get your body in front of a puck instead of just reaching, but really trying to drive your whole body, because it gives you a little bit more square footage that you're covering. So really, I think that has a lot to do with it. As far as the penalties are concerned, I want to say we had like 8 penalties or something to that extent. And certainly this team, I know they didn't actually score on the power play, but they are an excellent power play team. They have very good passers. They have a lot of shooters. And we were fortunate that they didn't score on the power play, but what it does is it tires out a lot of the guys who play the PK. And sometimes some of those guys also play power play. And then, of course, the other guys are sitting on the bench. It's very difficult. It breaks the rhythm. So sometimes it's the effect of actually just being short for 2 minutes, not even the goals that you give up on the PK. And I think that for tonight, that did play a factor for us, but not in our favor. Well, I didn't know. I wasn't aware of the shots. I don't really look at the shots because sometimes they're very accurate, sometimes they're not. And quite frankly, I can't really change that. But I just think it's not so much time spent in zone. It more has to do with whether or not the same guys are on the ice for an extended period of time, because that just tires players out. It's very difficult for a defenseman to get off the ice after he's gone through his 45-second, 1-minute shift, and then he gets pinned down. It's even harder after that because he's more fatigued and he has less jam to sprint to the bench. And that does play a part. So the territorial part aspect, or the question that you asked, is more about the number of minutes that individual players are on and caught on the ice. That's the hardest thing. I thought it was a strong first game for our team. As far as I'm concerned, for my game, 2 bad bounces in the first period, and the biggest thing is you can't let that affect the rest of the game, because there's literally nothing that I can do to change those things once it happens. And then even before it happened, I don't really think that there was much I was going to change in terms of the way I played it. And it's just bad luck, and you have to accept that. And bad luck happens on the ice, bad luck happens off the ice. Everyone experiences it, and it's really important to move past that. So not so much the physical part of the game, but the mental part of the game is where in my opinion, I kind of evaluate myself and then see if it's a good game versus a bad game. Sometimes physically you're there, sometimes you're not, and it comes and goes in a long season. Obviously tonight I had more energy because we haven't played any games yet, but the mental part is the most important, and that's how I evaluate myself.
Okay.